May 16th, 2026. Give it a few minutes for people to join and we'll get started. Another hot day in Tennessee today. It's going to be in the 90s for almost the next week. All right, we got a few people on. We'll just give it another minute or so. And I finally did get to shoot the Glock 21 clone I built. Very happy with it. The parts from Lone Wolf and K&M Tactical worked out very well. And I got some really cool stuff sent to me to review this week. I got a holster that's kind of like a sticky holster. I got an LED pistol rack. I got a weapon light with a holster. And I got a range bag and a tactical bag. So I will be reviewing those this week. So watch the videos for that. And I don't see any comments from anyone. I don't know if my audio is working. If you can hear me, can someone put it in the comments? I see we got the liberals out already. All right, good afternoon. Wow, this Saturday afternoons must be like a perfect timing. Hey, Mike, we got a lot of liberals on here today, Mike. They just woke up, climbed out of their mommy and daddy's basements. So Ruger, I guess, had enough of the nonsense with the Attorney General. And Ruger is now moving from Connecticut to North Carolina. So good for them. It amazes me that gun manufacturers still exist in these liberal states. I was also reading some of the proposed changes to the ATF forms. And I don't know if they're going to fly or not, but it's a good thing that they're at least discussing it. And one of the things is the marijuana usage. Um, what they're trying to do is if you are a marijuana user, you would be able to select no, that you do not use drugs. They will be proposing to get away from using the uh, non binary gender. And the interesting thing is allowing firearms to be sent to your door instead of going through an FFL. And I guess they can do a background check on you before they send the firearm. So it'll be interesting to see how these things work out. I also did take the new Kimber out to the range again. And I am much happier with the Kimber this time than I was with the one I bought a couple of years ago and got rid of. I actually like this one. It's the Kimber Custom Lightweight with the aluminum slide. Hey, Mike, doing good today. How are you, brother? How much longer on your holster, Mike? Hey, Gene. Good day to you too, sir. Thank you for joining. And Trainwreck, thank you for joining it. Friggin' A, God bless the Second Amendment. I thank God I live in the great state of Tennessee, and we are a constitutional carry state, and we pretty much have no regulations here. We can open or conceal carry without a permit. We don't need a permit to purchase firearms. And it just amazes me how, you live in a state and like Connecticut, and all of a sudden, Connecticut is like worse than New Jersey. Trainwreck, I love your comment there because I live in the great state of Tennessee where we can open carry, and I open carry most of the time. And it always amazes me how much flack you get from people for open carrying. I mean, if you can carry, I just want people to carry. I don't care whether it's open or concealed. And you open or conceal carry based on your comfort level and where you are. Um, and military flyboy, welcome. But anyway, I just don't understand why there's even a debate about how you should carry. You carry for comfort, um, how you're comfortable carrying. I mean, some people don't even carry with a round in the chamber because they don't feel comfortable. That's their option. I open carry, and you hear a lot of stupid comments from people. What difference does it make? How I carry doesn't affect your life a damn bit. Um, Benji boy, what do I carry? Um, my carry item now is my Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 10 millimeter. Hoagie, time to go back into your mommy's basement. A lot of liberals again today, Mike. It's all about situational awareness, right? I live in Tennessee, and if I go to Memphis, which is a shithole, I'm not going to open carry in Memphis. If I'm in an area I've never been to before, I'm not going to open carry. But in where I live in the rural area, I open carry and I really don't give a shit. It's my right. Um, and I just don't know why people make such a big deal about it. And what I really get a kick out of is that these morons all regurgitate the same stupid comments over and over again. Like, if you open carry, you're going to be a target. They're going to take your gun away. Well, number one, it's situational awareness. You don't carry a firearm and walk around not paying attention. And number two, I'm a data guy by trade. I have not seen any data that suggests how many people got shot in the head because they were carrying and how many people had their guns taken away because they were carrying. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen or hasn't happened, but they make it sound like it happens every day. Trying to read your comment there, Kwani. To answer your question, I don't think the Glock 19 will ever be less of a go-to. There's millions of them out there. Millions of people have them. They're tried and true. I don't see them going away. I'm just, since Glock bent over and went to the V series and the Gen 6, I am just no longer a Glock poster child. Like I said, I love the Glocks that I own, and I'll never part with them, but I'll never buy another one because I just don't like the direction Glock is going in. I think Catherine Glock is going to manage the company into the ground. They haven't done anything innovative in 30 years. And you know what? Status quo now is not good enough. I mean, there's a lot of guns out there that have made huge changes over the past couple years. And to do nothing and rely on your name, your brand name, I just don't think that's enough anymore. So for those who just joined, I just received a weapon light and a holster to review. I'm not a big fan of having a weapon light mounted on your gun. All right, Mike. Well, thanks for joining us, brother, and you have a good time at the party. Honky, you're going to go back into your mommy's basement. I hear mommy calling you. Bye-bye. Aaron, your mommy's calling you too. You're going bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm really flattered. Hey, Randall. How you doing there, brother? Glad you could join us. We got a lot of liberals on today. It is that time because they don't have jobs. So at about this time, they just wake up and they crawl out of mommy and daddy's basements. I guess they stay up all night playing Xbox and eating cheese doodles in their tidy whities. So, and Rohit, your mommy's calling you. Bye. Yeah, I went out early this morning to start doing some work cleaning up the hedges before it got too hot. It's almost 90 degrees today in Tennessee. It'll be 90 degrees pretty much all week next week. So You got to do that stuff early. Was going to go shoot a few rounds off in the backyard. It's even getting too hot to go shoot out in the backyard. But I do like the fact that I do have that option. Sometimes it's just not convenient to go to the range, or I just don't have that much time available to me. And we got more liberals coming out of their mommy and daddy's basements. I really do take it as a compliment, and I thank all the liberals that um, come out and join our live stream, because there is so many other things that you guys could be doing, and to take the time to join my live stream, I take that as a huge compliment. So let's see, Kwame. Those are good points there, Kwame. First of all, um, I don't think Glock will ever make a hammered fired gun, and I'm okay with that. Um, Glock set the gold standard for polymer frame striker fired pistols, and striker fired pistols have come a long way over the past couple of years, and I'm okay with that. But the problem I have with Glock is that they all look the same. I mean, I own a lot of Glocks, and what I normally do is I color fill the engraving so that I could see the Glock 19 and 17 and 20 and 21. They all look the same. They're uh, they're bulky, they're chunky looking. There's nothing cool looking about the Glock, and I get it. Who cares about aesthetics? It's reliable. Um, but there's a lot of other guns out there that are reliable. My biggest pet peeve about Glock and innovation there, Kwame, is that almost every manufacturer now, or quite a few, have started using the modular concept, right? So the Ruger RXM did it. You take the fire control module out of the grip module, the serial numbers on the fire control module. That allows you to buy grip modules, slides, barrels, etc., without going to an FFL. Glock had their chance. I could see them not doing it on the V series, but when they came out with the Gen 6, Glock should have definitely become modular. And I don't know why they didn't do it. Another pet peeve I have about Glock as far as innovation is that every pistol that is being marketed as a concealed carry gun or a defensive gun should be optic ready. Instead of what Glock does is they charge you $200 more to get an MOS version. That should just be standard. The Hellcat did it. Springfield did it with the Hellcat. They did it with the Echelon. Ruger did it with the RXM. Smith & Wesson did it with the Equalizer. Hell, even the cheap Palmetto State Dagger is optic ready. It's a good question, Randall. What? Yeah, I always wanted an AR-10. I built quite a few AR-15s and 300 blackouts, but I really think I'm gonna build an AR-10. I just always wanted one. I think it would be pretty cool. Expensive to shoot. I don't reload rifle ammo, but that may change after I build an AR-10. Now, I have a 308 Remington bolt action. But it would really be cool to have one on the AR platform. I do have a AR-12, which is really cool. It's made by Panzer Arms. They're made in Turkey. And that thing is built like a tank. Well, we got some people out there. I'm just curious. Anybody purchase any firearms recently? I shared with you all that I built the Glock 21 clone. I just bought the Colt Viper. I bought the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. And what else? Oh, and I just bought the Kimber. Hey, Duke. Welcome, brother. Glad you could join us. Got a lot of liberals on today, boy. Can't tell you how many of them I kicked down to their parents' basement. And Mike, what's wrong with the 6.5 Creedmoor? Yeah, New Jersey drivers, let me tell you. I thought New Jersey drivers were stupid. Come down to Tennessee. These people are the worst drivers I've ever seen. And I've seen people in a lot of states. Kevin, mommy's calling you. Bye-bye. Hey, Brookside Farm. Thanks for joining, brother. Good to have you again. But I got to tell you that the people in Tennessee really can't drive for shit. It takes them forever to get off the road. I mean, when you're making a right-hand turn, get off the damn road. These people are on the highway and they start slowing down 25 feet before the turn. And then all of a sudden, as they are turning, they swing left to turn right, and the steering wheels grow. They're like this. The steering wheels look like a school bus driver, and they're trying to get off the road. It's unbelievable. And God forbid you get a snow flurry. Forget about it. Yeah, I agree with you there, Brookside. Smokies is about 45 minutes from me. When I moved here 7 years ago, you can go there pretty much any time except the summer, and it was no big deal. But now it's like a madhouse. I mean, there is never a good time to go through the Smokies. I disagree with you there, Kwame. I don't see anything innovative about the Gen 6. It's not modular. Um, it's not optic ready unless you buy a MOS version. Um, I'm sorry. I just think Glock came up short. They had two shots at this. They had the V series, then they went to the Gen 6, and they had two shots to try to come up to speed with what everybody else is doing, and they failed to do it. But again, I still think that it's because Catherine Glock is just milking the company and she's going to run it into the ground. However, my wife and I will be going to Nashville Memorial Day week. So we will not have a. I'll get right to you, Kevin. So we will not have a live stream Memorial weekend. And the main reason we're going there is the Glock store is having an open house. They're going to be giving away $50,000 worth of prizes. And I love that guy, Lenny McGill. I watch his YouTube videos all the time. So um, it should be really cool. And who knows, maybe I'll pick something up there. Kevin, welcome. Thank you for joining. And to answer your question, I love the Henry rifles. Um, they moved, by the way. They moved to Tennessee. Um, but I love the Henry rifles. I've always wanted one. And for Christmas, I bought myself the Henry Big Boy 357 Magnum carbine rifle with the 16-inch barrel. And I'm glad I went the carbine route because the uh, carbine is almost 9 pounds because of the octagonal barrel. It's freaking heavy, but that lever action is like butter. I got to tell you. I'm getting used to the sights. I'm not a big fan of the buckhorn sights, but I mean it's a uh, absolutely gorgeous gun. And congrats, Brookside. I love my big boy 357. And what I do like about it is that it does say made in Bayonne, New Jersey on it, which is really cool for me because, I'm originally from New Jersey, so it's cool that it says that. Um, and I am glad that Henry did move to Tennessee. A lot of companies are moving here. Smith & Wesson moved here. Beretta moved here. Uzi moved here. It is a great state for gun owners. Yeah, the thing I like, I was kind of up in the air. I almost went with the Marlin 357. And then the reason I went with the Henry is because the Henry Big Boy is absolutely gorgeous. It's got the brass side gate. It's got the brass banding on it. The gorgeous walnut stock. I mean, it is an absolutely gorgeous rifle, and that lever action, man, that is like butter. To answer your question, Kevin, Kimber moved to Alabama, Troy, Alabama. And I don't know whether it was because they moved, but the Kimber I bought a few years ago that was made in Yonkers, I did not like it at all. I had it a few weeks and I got rid of it. And last week, I picked up a Kimber Custom Lightweight with the aluminum slide, and I'm liking it a lot. Um, the funny thing is, Bud's Guns is only about a half hour from me. And I went in there looking for a TSUS, and TSUS was about 500. Well, I got this bundle on my Kimber, and it was the Kimber, 3 steel magazines, a range bag, a Kydex holster, and a Kydex mag carrier for $629. I just had to buy it, and I figured, you know what? I didn't have good luck with my last Kimber, but at this price, I'm willing to try it again. I normally don't do that when I have a bad experience with a product. I usually never buy another one. Um, but I listened to you guys, and I did purchase it. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm glad I did that. What else? Anybody else get any new firearms lately? Are there any firearms you guys are thinking about getting? I'm just curious because I'm always looking to get something new. And like I said, every time I go in the gun store, it just gets harder and harder. Unless I go with a 1911 or a revolver, it gets harder and harder to find the gun I want because they're all 9mm striker fire. Ah, good for you, Duke. Congratulations on that Ruger 1022. I'm still thinking of buying the Ruger 1022. Grab a Gun has got the 250th anniversary for under $300, so I'm thinking of going with that. Yeah, there's nothing like a wood stock on a rifle. Um, I get it too when they go to polymer. Like when I bought my Remington 308 uh, bolt action. I always wanted a bolt action gun. I always wanted a 308. So I got the Ruger. I got the Remington 308 bolt action, and what they did was they used the polymer stock to make it cheaper. And I think I paid like $300 for that gun. It's awesome. Um, I'm curious, Mike. What? There's nothing wrong with the SP-101. It's an awesome gun, but I'm just curious why why you would choose that over the GP100. Personally, I just like the 6 rounds, and if it's for concealed carry, that's why I got the Colt Viper. And that's just me. I mean, I have at least 6 rounds in my revolvers. So that's why I like my Smith and Wesson 686 with 7 rounds. Ah, okay. The GP 100. That's a whole different ball game there, Mike. That GP 100, I got to tell you, is built like a freaking tank. Um, it will last forever. It's heavier. It does an excellent job of mitigating the recoil. And what I did with mine is it came with the rubber Hogue grips. And I bought the grips from Ruger, and they're awesome. They are rubber grips with rosewood inserts. So it gives you the best of both worlds, right? It's got the beautiful look of the rosewood with the outline of rubber so that uh, you get a little bit of cushion and it reduces recoil a little bit better. Um, but that GP 100, that's awesome, and that thing will last forever. That's a gun you can pass down generations. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with the SP 101. It's just I I want to have at least 6 rounds in a revolver, and like I said, I carry all of mine, so that's why I get 3-inch barrels. Hey, first, thanks for joining. And by the way, all you new people on today, thank you so much for joining our live stream. We do this every Wednesday evening at 8 Eastern and every Saturday at 12 noon. And I would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. All right, first, I like that P365 Macro Legion. It is an awesome gun. I think the P365 is probably one of the best guns Sig Sauer has ever produced. Um, I can't say enough about it. I like it a lot. That's a great question there. First, um, and it's actually not it's actually not hard to answer. Um, I used to be a Glock poster child. I don't like the direction they're going, so I will never buy another Glock, nor will I ever recommend Glock. So, to answer your question, I prefer the SIG for numerous reasons. Regardless with all of the bullshit that's on the internet, I have three SIG P320s. I have one in 9mm, I have one in 45 ACP, and I have the X10 comp. And they've never shot anybody. Um, they've been extremely reliable. And one of the biggest advantages of the SIG is that they were the first ones to make a modular gun. So the fire control group is removable. That's where the serial number is. So you can buy grip modules, slides, barrels, etc., without going to an FFL. So the first thing I did when I got my SIG P320s is I went to Wilson Combat and I replaced my grips with the Wilson Combat grips. And let me tell you, those Wilson Combat grips are freaking awesome. It makes the SIG P320 feel like it was custom made. It just fits your hand like a glove. And they're only like $39. I mean, there's pretty much nothing you can buy on Wilson Combat for $39. And then what they also did with the Wilson Combat grip is if you find that they're too light, they sell these little titanium weights you can put in the back of the grip module to make it heavier. So that's pretty cool. But that's a good question there. First, it's a tough question to answer. In Knoxville, there's a gun range that had Staccato Day, and Staccato brought every model gun. They supplied the ammo, and they let you shoot them for free. And don't get me wrong, they shoot nice. They're competition guns, but honestly, $2,500 to $3,000 is not going to make you shoot better. So to answer that question, I don't think the Staccato is worth the price tag. I would have no problem going with a SIG. Sure, they're handmade. They shoot very nice, but they're not going to make you shoot better unless you shoot competition. But, you know, it's kind of a hard comparison because, like Tony said, a Staccato is a competition gun. So, you know, to compare it to anything else isn't really fair. But I agree with you, Tony. Staccato is made to shoot competitively. It's not a gun that you take to the range and beat the crap out of it and don't clean it for a month because it will not function reliably. You're 100% correct on that. And thank you for joining, Tony, and thank you for your comments. And for those who haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. And we have a lot of people that support our channel by joining and becoming a member. I do like the SIGs too, first. I'm not big on following and believing all of this crap you see on the internet. I'm sorry. I've had my SIGs for years. They've never just went off. I'm just not buying it. And I'm perfectly confident carrying my SIGs. And Latoya, thank you for joining. Yep, I like Walther's too. Walther makes a great gun. Um, I'm actually thinking of getting the Walther PPQ 45 ACP. I have a Walther 9mm. The funny thing about the Walther, though, is you take the Walther and you put it side by side with a Canik. It's almost like they share technology. The Canik, I have a Canik TPSC 9 Elite, and it is identical to the Walther. Slide stops, even the way the slide comes off where it lifts off. If I had to choose one SIG to use forever, what would I go with? I would go with the P365. You can customize that. You could do a lot with it. It's a great gun. That's a great question, Kevin. I go to USA Carry, USCCAA also has a nice map on there for reciprocity. However, I got to tell you, Kevin, New York doesn't have reciprocity with anybody. I hate to burst your bubble, but New York and New Jersey, there is no reciprocity. Tony, I don't want to piss on your parade. I'll get right to you there first. I love my Springfields. I have the Echelon, etc. And thank you, Razor. Love you, brother. But in my opinion, the XD series is not the best work that Springfield has put out. I'm sorry. They're very plasticky. I had a Springfield XD 45 ACP for about a week. Couldn't stand it. So I'm just not a fan. I'm sorry. But if it works for you, that's all that matters. What else we got here? First, you know what? Other than the grip module, there's really nothing else you need to do to the SIG P365. No, Kevin, unfortunately, I don't believe there's many states that recognize New York. No, that's not the issue there, Tony. Don't get me wrong. I love my Echelon. I love my Hellcat Pro. I have a Springfield Emissary. They're all made in Croatia. I don't have an issue with that whatsoever. I just feel that the XD is too plasticky. It just feels cheap to me. You know what, Kevin? One thing you may want to do, and I have mine, what you may want to do is consider getting like a Utah non-resident permit. There's a lot of states that recognize the Utah non-resident permit. Florida also gives them out. I have Florida as well, and so does Arizona. To answer your question first, I would go with Surefire. That's what I have. I find Olight to be, you get what you pay for, right? They're cheap. Um, they're not the greatest quality. I strongly subscribe to the buy once, cry once philosophy. Spend the money once and you're done. Um, you know what, first? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. I have a Holosun 407 on my Springfield Hellcat Pro. I found a company called Zulisi, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so and search for it. And I've done reviews on the Zulisi optics, and I got to tell you, for half the price of the Holosun, I put my Zulisi optics up against my Holosun every day. And crystal clear, great quality, half the cost, 50,000 hour battery life. So do a search on Zulisi. Jib Jab, welcome, brother. Good to have you back. Hope you're well. But like I said, first, I bought the Holosun first, and I still have it. But all of my other pistols are using Zulisi optics. So I have no problem whatsoever. I think they perform as well as the Holosun, and they're almost half price. And I know there's a bunch of you guys out here that wound up getting the Zulisis. It depends on the model there. First, they have both open and closed emitters. It just depends on what you want. They have a lot of different models, and I've reviewed every one. Zulisi sent me almost every one of their optics to review. That's Duke. Dude, that's almost an oxymoron, saying beautiful and New Jersey in the same sentence. There's nothing wrong with rain there, Jib Jab. Believe you're in PA, so maybe it'll wash some of the crap away. To answer your question, Duke, the only mod I did to my Glock 20 is I put the Hogue rubber grip on it. There's nothing else I would do to it. There's and I did put True Glow TFX sights on. The TFX Pro are fiber optic sights with tritium vials on the end, so that you get the best of both worlds. They pop in the daytime and they're real bright at night. But other than that, I wouldn't mess with my Glock 20. But I put, the first thing I do if I buy a pistol that does not have night sights, the first thing I do is put night sights on them. I like the True Glows, but I've also been using the High Vis, and they're very good as well. You know what, Duke? I know a lot of people bitch about the triggers on the Glock, and they swap them out. I'm not a fan of doing that. And, God forbid you have to use it in self-defense. You don't need them saying that, you worked on the gun. Believe me, the Glock triggers aren't the best in the world, but they do go bang every time. And I just wouldn't mess with the triggers. That's just me. And I'm sorry if I missed anybody's comments. They do scroll by very quickly, and it's hard for me to catch them all. So if I did miss your comment, um, it is not intentional. And also, when uh, people join and put their name in here, sometimes that goes by very quickly too, and I don't get to see it. I don't know what your point is there, Tony. Good afternoon to you too. Oh, I'm sorry. First, I did miss your um, questionnaire. Okay, so to answer your question, um, first, are you asking for my top three pistols by manufacturer or make and model? Exactly, Jib Jab. You deal with the cards you dealt with. I'm just not a fan messing with triggers. Besides the fact that you will void your warranty. Ah, you read my mind there, Jib Jab. All right, first I'm going to give you. Um, all right, Tony. Fair enough. I'm going to do both though. First, I'm going to give them to you in multiple categories. Okay, so in the revolver category, I'm going with my Colt Python. My 1911 category, I'm going with my Springfield Emissary. Um, my normal semi-automatic category, I'm going with my Glock 20, 10 millimeter. If I'm going with a 9 millimeter, I'm going with my Springfield Emissary. Um, the quality of Colt was really going down the toilet until CZ bought them. And I got to tell you, I bought my Colt Government Competition Plus. Um, excellent quality. Um, of course, you did, Duke. It's a good thing nobody asked me the favorite caliber. Um, okay, well that's a no-brainer. First, um, yes, High Point is the biggest piece of shit that you can buy. Um, and then, fortunately, they're not in business anymore. But Skies were actually almost as bad. Um, you're welcome, Tony. I do give my honest opinion, and they are opinions. So, I don't have an issue. I don't expect everybody to believe them or agree with them. When somebody asks my opinion, I tell you what I think, good, bad, or indifferent, not based on uh, reading crap on the internet. Um, a lot of people have issues with guns not made here. Well, you know what? I love Springfield guns. I really do, except the XD series. Um, and I don't care that they're made in Croatia. Um, I'll get right to you on that, Tony. I also don't care that Canik is made in Turkey. Um, I don't have issues with that as long as the uh, quality is there. You know what, Brookside Farm? Honestly, Kel-Tec really isn't a piece of crap. They're actually pretty well made for the money. Okay, Tony. So I you guys join my stream a lot. You know, I love 10 millimeter, right? And that's normally what I carry. My favorite 10 millimeter carry used to be the Glock 29. However, a few weeks ago or a month ago, I bought the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 10 millimeter, and that became my carry. And it's because it's got a 4-inch barrel. I like the barrels a little bit longer. That Glock 29 is a little small for 10 millimeter. There's a lot less recoil on the Smith & Wesson M&P. You know what, Jib Jab? I don't have a problem with all the screws holding the Kel-Tec together. I had a Kel-Tec sub 2000, and I got a stupid price on that. I think I paid $200 and something. So I'm not even going to comment on the 40 caliber. Well, you know what, Kevin? I used to live in the communist state of New Jersey. It's just as bad there. And now Connecticut is actually getting worse than New Jersey. They are banning all Glock type guns, which would include the Glock, the Ruger RXM, the Palmetto State, etc. To answer your question first, my two favorite calibers are 10 millimeter and 45. Okay. Now, I know everybody jumps on the 9 millimeter bandwagon, but a 10 millimeter, oh, don't even get me started on comparing the 10 millimeter to 40. 40 caliber is nothing like a 10 millimeter. I've said it a million times. They took a perfectly good 10 millimeter cartridge and they neutered it and made a 40. So all the 40 is a 9 millimeter on steroids. Now, 10 millimeter, I think between all the available loads and the fact that it'll stop anything on 2 legs or 4 is a perfect defense round. I like the 45 as well. 45 doesn't have as much recoil as the 10. And the nice thing about the 45 is big hole, a lot of blood. I've never been a fan of 9 millimeter. I mean, I own them because they're cheap to shoot. I could tell you why, Tony. The reason I call it New Germany and the communist state of New Germany is because they took all the gun rights away in New Jersey. When in order to buy a pistol in New Jersey, you need to apply for a pistol purchase permit. And it is a may issue state. They don't have to issue it to you. And there's 3 copies of that permit. One goes to the state police, one goes to the local police, and you get one. Well, before we moved to Tennessee, I got a letter in the mail from my local police department after Governor Murphy made anything over 10-round magazines high capacity. And I got a letter in the mail from my local police in New Jersey saying if I didn't surrender my high capacity magazines, I would become a Class E felon and they can confiscate my firearms. So, fucking A, they're a communist state. Yes, I mentioned that, AG. It's not only Glock, it's all the Glock clones. Um, that would be the Ruger RXM, it would be the Glock, it would be the Palmetto State, and any other pistol that's built on Glock technology. I agree with you, Carlos. That's why we moved to the great state of Tennessee. Don't know stinking pistol, don't know permits down here. Yeah, New Jersey is horrible. And after the Braun case, when they started issuing carry permits in New Jersey, I'll get right to you first. The Attorney General and Governor Murphy stayed up all night making a list of places you can't carry. So you're standing on the corner and you're a law abiding citizen, you cross the street, and now you're a felon. Um, they're still trying to decide on safe places like churches, etc. Can't carry near a school or a park. There's almost nowhere in New Jersey that you're not 1,000 feet from a school or a park. First, hands down. Again, if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel. Search for my review. Tucker and Bird, hands down, are the best made holsters money can buy. They're handmade, custom made. You know the problem, Tony? Yeah, I get it that everybody carries a 9mm. Just because everybody carries a 9mm doesn't mean that it's best, okay? And number two, more capacity. Well, first of all, a 10mm has the same capacity as a 9mm. You can get 10mm that hold 15 rounds, right? I carry 1911s as well. I don't have an issue with 7 rounds because if you're that concerned with capacity, this is just my opinion, you probably should spend more time on the range. I think people that are so hung up on capacity is because they don't have confidence in their shooting ability. There's nothing wrong with Safariland holsters there, first, but in my opinion, for the money, Tucker Bird, hands down, are the best. They're handmade and custom made, and they're not much more. No, John, there really pretty much is only one way to load a mag without a loader. I agree with you first. You know, when I see these pictures on these gun forums, the people look like mental patients with these 20-round magazines like they're going into Afghanistan. If you go by the FBI statistics where, there's 3 rounds fired in 3 seconds at 3 yards, what the hell do you need 20 rounds for? I think it's because people have no confidence in their shooting ability. And like Jim Jab said, you own every round that comes out of that gun. The more rounds you fire, you exponentially increase the odds of a stray bullet. And if you're carrying a 10mm or a 45, you don't need to do that double tap shit that the 9mm do. You hit him with a 45 or a 10mm, he's not getting up. People carry 9mm. I think the craze started because the logic was, well, if it's good enough for the cops, it's good enough for me. Doesn't mean it's the best. A lot of times, these police departments are issued guns is because of money. They got a cheap contract, and that's why they carry like Glocks. Glocks sold them to the police departments for years. So cheap, I think they made like $50 a gun. Doesn't mean they're better. You know, you gotta remember, it's politics, right? Police departments carrying a firearm are carrying it because of a government contract to purchase the guns. Doesn't mean they're the best. But like I said, people carry a 9mm. A lot of it is because, they're a new gun owner and everybody says, get a 9mm. Or, yeah, I agree with you, Tony. The Glock triggers are awful, but they still go bang every time. I'm not familiar with John McAfee's shooting videos. Sorry. But anyway, I digress. A lot of people go to 9mm because that's what their friends tell them to get. And if that works for you, that's fine. But there is no best caliber. The best caliber is the one you shoot well. My recommendation to new gun owners is to go to a gun range, rent a gun in a few different calibers, and get the biggest caliber that you shoot well. And if that happens to be a 380 or 9mm, fine. But I wouldn't just settle on a 9mm because your friend told you to get a 9mm, or because that's what the cops use. I agree, Tony. Don't know double tap with a 10mm. You don't need 15 rounds of 10mm. You only need one. Kevin, I've been thinking about that. In Illinois, where they want serial numbers on every bullet, and then they're registered with the state police, I don't think it'll ever happen. It would make ammo astronomically expensive. I think what will happen, though, unfortunately, is you're going to have ammo companies are just not going to sell ammo to Illinois. There's a lot of gun sites. If you notice, it'll say that they don't ship to New Jersey, Hawaii, Illinois, etc. I can't see Hornady going through all of that trouble. I agree with you, Tony. I carry in church as well. Yes, the government doesn't care about the cost of ammo. And on top of that, if you're going to have all of the cases serialized, well, what do you have to do? Shoot them and go grab your cases because you need to prove that they weren't used in a crime. It's just stupid. I don't know how they're going to enforce it. The worst states for gun rules. Okay. And after I answer that, we are going to leave because we are over in time right now. So, the 7 worst states: New Jersey, Connecticut, California, Illinois, Hawaii, Virginia. No problem, AK Guru. We will be doing this again on Wednesday. But, all right, one last question before we go. To answer your question, yes, and thank you, Yoko, Massachusetts. To answer your question, Tony, if you reload, I would highly recommend that you stock up on primers, powder, bullets, and cases now. I will bet you, come August, you're going to see all the consumables from reloading skyrocket again. So if you do reload, stock up on your primers and powder now, they'll probably even do is raise the hazmat fee to be even more expensive than it was. So anyway, it was a great stream today. Thank you all for that. I appreciate it. All the new people, thank you so much for joining. If this is something you like, we do this every Wednesday evening at 8 Eastern, every Saturday at 12 noon. Please subscribe to our channel, like our videos, comment, turn on notifications. Be safe, be well. God bless you all. Thanks.